Hello and welcome back to Montero Safaris. Today I'm going to talk about a very interesting conversation. If you've been online, I think you haven't missed it. It has been making rounds everywhere and I believe everyone has made up their minds about what they think. You've had a lot of arguments for and against, and this is the conversation about one gorilla versus 100 men. And as someone who takes people to view gorillas frequently, someone who has seen gorillas in their natural habitat, through a gorilla trekking experience, I thought I should also be part of this conversation to also share what I think. Part of what I'm going to say has already been said, but also I would want to put my perspective as someone who has interacted with gorillas. The first thing is, can this fight actually happen? And if it happened, how would it end? And this is what I think. Based on my knowledge, based on what I've experienced, and based on what I've seen, taking from some of the irrefutable statistical representations of what advantages does a gorilla have and what advantages does a human being have. For example, the strength. A gorilla is much stronger than a human being. The strength of a gorilla is equivalent to that of 5 to 10 strong men. But that depends on the size of the gorilla, because they have not specified what gorilla you're fighting. Number two, it is the skin of a gorilla versus the skin of a human being. Your skin as a human being is very soft as compared to that of a gorilla because of the environment in which it stays, and to enable it to be adaptable to that environment, it has to have a much harder skin, so it will be easier for a human being to get injured than a gorilla. Something about the bite force, and this is something you have learned. A gorilla's bite force is more than double than the bite force of a lion. So if one of the people got bitten by a gorilla, I think even your burns can be taken. But what advantages do human beings have? Human beings have more endurance, meaning that they will be able to sustain a fight longer than the gorilla can. Human beings are smarter, so they will be able to organize themselves and coordinate much better than a gorilla can. So if it is just one human being against a gorilla, they don't have a chance. If it is 5, there will be many injuries and casualties. But if you look at 100 men, I don't think a gorilla has a chance. But this conversation has brought us to think about something that is very important about the gorillas, and that is the question of conservation. So gorillas, as we know them, are for most of the time, are humble animals. They would not engage in a fight, and most would say they don't start fights, but they end them. This gorilla versus 100 men fight is more of a hypothetical situation, and I don't think it would happen. But what fight are these gorillas into? There's a subspecies of gorillas called the mountain gorillas, and it's part of the gorillas that we find in the eastern part of Africa. Mountain gorillas have been declared endangered species as of 2018. These are only found in Uganda, Rwanda, and Democratic Republic of Congo. Currently, there are only 1,060 mountain gorillas, and that was based on the census that was done in 2019. Since the 1990s, the gorilla population has increased from 620 gorillas to the last census that was done in 2019, which left them at 1,060 gorillas, with over 50% living in Uganda. How can you be part of this fight for the survival of mountain gorillas? You can do this by participating in gorilla trekking. Gorilla trekking is an experience that allows you to observe gorillas in their natural habitat. The proceeds that usually comes from these permits sold are used to finance conservation efforts through anti-poaching patrols, habitat protection of these gorillas, and research. A portion of this also goes to supporting local communities and maintaining infrastructure. And this is aimed to preventing people from encroaching on the homes for these gorillas. So in case you want to be part of this noble cause and also experience one of the most unique experiences you can ever have and create great memories, you can reach out to Montero Safaris. We organize for you a great safari experience where you can go and trek gorillas, either in Rwanda or Uganda. Reach out to Montero Safaris by filling in the inquiry form on our website in the description below, or you can also send us an email and we shall be able to assist you throughout this process. Let's be part of this great cause and support the fight for survival of these mountain gorillas and also the local communities around them.